Today I'm going big. Pan-seared duck breast with a glossy blackberry port sauce. Crispy skin, juicy pink centre, and that sweet tangy sauce that just brings it all together. It's one of those dishes that looks a little bit fancy, but it is really easy to cook at home. I hope you're all well. I'm Shane. Welcome back to It's Cooking Good. Now, I don't know about you, but when I was a kid, if you had duck, we probably had it maybe once a year, you felt like you'd really arrived. You were like the envy of the street for sure. Nowadays, you can pick them up anywhere. Whole ducks, duck breasts, duck legs, whatever you like. And I picked these Gressingham ones up from Tesco's. They're not on offer at the moment, but they do normally go on offer a little bit closer to Christmas. So in the next couple of weeks, certainly the whole ducks do tend to go on offer, probably more frequently than the actual duck breast. But I've had them before. They are absolutely delicious and they are perfect for this recipe. So I've got one duck breast here. And what we need to do with this is render it down in this pan. The fat, we need to render it down. In order to do that, we're going to use a sharp knife and put some cut into that skin. And you just want to do it in like a crisscross fashion. Very lightly, let the weight of the knife do the work on this. What you don't want to do is actually go through the meat itself. You really just want to go through the skin. Just wipe my hands. To that, I want to add some pepper. Obviously my favourite, the old cracked black pepper. Both sides. And at this point, guys, you need to turn on your oven, 200C fan. Get that preheating now. Salt, again, on both sides. Pan here, I haven't even got the hob on. You want to put this into a cool pan. So I'm just going to switch it on. It's going to be on a medium to low temperature, skin side down. And we're going to cook that for an initial 5 to 8 minutes. We'll be checking on it as we go until we can start to see that skin is really crisping up nicely. Okay, so that's had 6 minutes now and I've just had a little peek and I think it's perfect to turn over. And look at that beautiful, lovely, crispy skin. And we're just going to give that now another minute on that side. So our duck is ready to go into the oven now. I'm actually using an oven-proof frying pan. If you don't have one of these, transfer it out of your pan onto a rack over a tray so you can catch any of those juices before it goes into the oven. And it's going to go into the oven for about 6 minutes, 5 to 6 minutes. I like mine somewhere between rare and medium rare. So I'm going to cook it to an internal temperature of about 57 to 60 degrees C, somewhere around there. But we'll do the touch test also. And while that's cooking away in the oven, we can crack on and make our blackberry port sauce. Special thank you to my neighbour Adrian, who foraged these from his garden and the surrounding area, I believe. So thank you, Adrian. I've got a massive glut here of blackberries and they're frozen. I'm just going to chuck them straight in to this pan. That's it, get them all in. I'm going to make plenty of sauce because this freezes well after we've cooked it and we're going to be eating more of this tonight. To that, I'm going to add a good glug of port. Use whatever port you've got. If you don't have port, switch it out. Use red wine if you prefer. Absolutely fine. Tastes delicious either way. One shallot, which I've just diced. And I'm just going to bring that now up to a boil. What I want to do is actually start to burn off some of that alcohol. Okay, so our sauce is starting to take shape. I'm going to go in with a star anise. I love that star anise flavour. Almost gives it a little Chinese vibe with that port. Lovely. Here I've got half a tablespoon of golden granulated sugar. Add that sweet note. Adrian did say that these blackberries are fairly sweet, but with this sauce, I do like it extra sweet. So stir that through. And then to that, I've got some chicken stock here. Get it in, it's about 250 millilitres there. You can always add more if needed. And we're just going to let that simmer now for about another 4 to 5 minutes. This is the time now I'm going to take the duck out and let it rest on a warmed plate. Okay, so our sauce is bubbling away nicely. I'm actually going to turn that off now and we're going to pass it through a sieve. So just place your sieve over another saucepan and gently tip that in. You don't want to get that blackberry juice everywhere, that is for sure. Get every last little bit out. And then just using a spoon or spatula, you want to push all of that goodness out through your sieve. Okay, so I'm not going to lie to you. This takes a lot of elbow grease and quite a few minutes to get it to this stage. It does take a bit of work, but it's worth it. So we're now left really with the onions, the seeds, and that star anise. And underneath, we should have a lovely sauce. Just scrape off, if you've got anything underneath, make sure that is all money right there, and you end up with this lovely sauce. You now want to return your pan to the heat, and we're going to add a knob of butter and some cornstarch or corn flour. We just want to thicken this up a little bit. We'll do a little bit at a time. Just get yourself a whisk and whisk that in until you've got a consistency that you like. And I'm happy with that. What I do want to do is just give it a little try, see if it needs any seasoning. Just needs a touch of salt, just a pinch. Stir that through, and we're ready to plate this up, give it a try, and see how we've done. Okay, so everything is ready to go. Our duck is nicely rested. I like to rest mine as long as possible. It's on a warm plate, so it's not going to go cold. It's been resting for about 10 minutes, so cooking time in the oven and resting time is about 15 minutes, which is pretty much around about the time it takes to make our blackberry and port sauce. So let's get this onto a board. Don't waste any of those resting juices. They're going to go in with our lovely sauce. All good stuff. And we're just going to carve this up. Fingers crossed. I like to cut mine in quite thick slices. That way I find the duck doesn't go cold as quick. Let's have a look. Some of these centre bits, look at that. Nice and blushing, exactly as I like it. If there's any French watching, you're probably saying merde to the screen. I've probably overcooked it for your liking, but this is the way I like it. Of course, you cook it to your liking. If you want it a bit more done, that's absolutely fine. Right, let's plate this up. I've just got some kale on the plate. Just get your duck, just spread it out a little bit. Make it look a little bit chefy. There we go. Just wrap it around there like that. And then, of course, some of our lovely blackberry and port sauce. And I'm just going to put a little drizzle around and about like that. And that is good to go. My duck breast with a port and blackberry sauce. Cannot wait. It looks amazing. If I was eating with my eyes, I've eaten a lot already. Absolutely fantastic. Let's cut in. Let's see how that duck is. It's sauce. Let's try it. Oh, that's good. That is a little bit special. Wow. That sauce is absolutely delightful. It's got the right level of sweetness and tartness from the blackberries. And it works perfectly with the richness of that duck. The salt and pepper on that duck still coming through, which is great. Oh, this is lush. This would make a fantastic Christmas party. If you've got people coming over for dinner over Christmas, this would make a great dinner party dish, for sure. As you saw, it's really easy to make, especially if you've got a neighbour like Adrian, who's going to bring you around free blackberries. Happy days. Oh, that is a real winner. I could probably eat at least 2 duck breasts cooked like that. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this one. That's it from me for today. If you haven't already checked out Tuesday's video that went out, that is my cheeky little Mexican lasagna. It's a perfect midweek bake and comes together really, really quickly. Obviously, November is coming to a close, and next week we're into December. So we'll be transitioning into Christmas food, and we're starting that off with cheese. So next week's recipes are all sort of après-ski mode. We're doing fondue and tartiflette, 2 of my favorites, if I could have another 2. If you're new to the channel and you like the content, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Please also like, share and comment. Have you got a variation on this? I'd love to hear from you. Comment anyway. It really would help the channel. A special thank you today to Adrian, my neighbour, for the blackberries. They were absolutely spot on. So thank you, Adrian, and thanks for thinking of me. I'll leave all of the details of today's pan-fried duck breast, blackberry and port sauce down below in the description as always. And all that's left for me to say is until next time, it's cooking good.